Hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're extremely excited to do a little bit of a comic countdown for you all. Alex found this really interesting concept of a countdown of sorts. I think it was more of like a book talk idea.
Yeah, it was an Instagram reel.
Yeah, so it was a breakdown of 5 stories you love, 4 on the TBR, 3 that you always recommend, 2 that are 5-star stories, as well as 1 that we're currently reading. And we're kind of taking our own little twist of this.
Yes.
So it just felt right at the new year. I know that we just did our New Year's resolutions, but this is a nice way to kind of reflect on things that we're currently reading, maybe some things we don't talk about super often. And we'll just kind of talk through the categories with you, what stories we're wanting to talk about through those. So, Alex, go ahead and start us. What are the 5 stories that you love?
Okay, and so we did this a little bit differently. So we're doing 5 stories that you love that you don't talk about all the time, because you all know our top 5 stories. And actually probably our top 20, because we tried to narrow it down on New Year's Eve, and we had like 3 tied for first, 2 tied for second, 4 tied for third.
It was a mess.
It was not a narrowing down of anything.
No, it was just, wow, I love almost everything I've ever read.
So, on my list of things that I love and don't talk about all the time, first one is Fathoms of Atonement. Have I talked about this one at all?
Okay, is this one the mermaid story?
It is a mermaid story.
And it's from the same artist and creator that made Reaper in the Waiting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Balin and Lee Yun.
Okay.
So, this is on Webtoon as well. It's a fantasy. It's 45 episodes, and this is about a merman, and he has made some mistakes in his past that ended up getting his best friend killed. So he is trying to make up for the mistakes of his past. He has been searching for centuries for his best friend because he begged with the powers that be and said, please save his soul. He's a good person. It's my fault that this all happened. And could you please just let him be saved? So his soul got saved. He was reincarnated as a human. And finally, they have reconnected. But his best friend, who is now a human, also doesn't have his memories. So he doesn't know him anymore. So he's trying to get close to him and see if he can help him remember things. But also he's not able to tell anything, otherwise it will cause some problems. So right now in the story, we are learning about the backstory. So we're in the midst of what happened. We're going to find out the mistakes that he made. And this one is just gorgeous. I mean, the art is the same quality as the other 2 stories that we read by this creator. So I love this one. It's not released as often as Balin and Lee Yun. That one is an original. This one is a canvas, but still worth picking up. Very good.
It's so interesting to hear the description of it again, because I don't think I had pieced together. It sounds like a combination of the Reaper in the Waiting and Balin and Lee Yun.
It does.
I love that. I mean, I read both of them now, and they're both beautiful stories.
Yeah.
So combining them, it just works.
Yeah. I love it. It's just great. So I recommend you pick that one up.
Okay, I definitely will.
So what is one that is on your list that you love but don't talk about all the time?
So interestingly enough, the very first one on my list is Balin and Lee Yun. Because why wouldn't we be on the exact same page?
Oh my gosh.
It was one that I started reading for your birthday, mostly to surprise you, and then I just couldn't stop reading it. So I'm caught up, like have watched the ad passes, so I'm like caught up past where everybody else even is. Right now, it's at 65 episodes on Webtoon, but the story is just precious. I mean, you don't really get much better than like an Arctic researcher and a little Arctic mermaid. And then the Arctic mermaid kind of like falling in love and being like, okay, I'm just going to follow you back to your world now.
I know. I love it.
But where we're at now, Lee Yun is having to leave the bathtub because they're doing some sort of like, they're having somebody come into his apartment, Balin, and he's really trying to make sure that people don't discover that he has a mermaid living in his apartment. So he has 2 of his researcher students coming in to help take Leon away. And he gets car sick. And he's very green at the gills. Like, but actually.
Yes.
Like the saying. And so it is just precious. I'm so curious where everything's going to come to, like, all of these big surprises. I keep looking at the little notes at the end. And the artist is like, I promise, like, there are going to be some big reveals soon.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's a bigger reveal than, oh, you're my mate and we kissed and now we can communicate telepathically.
I do love that. So if it follows the same path that the Canvas series did, which I read the Canvas series when it was coming out as well, then I do know what's going to happen next. We're catching up with where the Canvas series ended, but there is still some stuff that I know from reading that. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if it follows the same path.
Well, you sit on your little high horse over there.
I will. I'll just sit right on top. I love, though, one of my absolute favorite scenes is when he realizes that Leon is not giant puffy from his coat from when he was in the Arctic, and he thought that the coat was like a part of his body.
Their names.
Have you? Leon is the researcher.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But when I was describing it, I literally said all the names.
It's okay. I didn't catch it.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Well, we know now. But that part is great where he comes to realize
he's like
that
trying to do the mental math.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cute.
The entire story is just precious. And every single episode, like, I'm just looking forward to reading more.
Yeah.
But the art is beautiful. The story is adorable. And I really do just, like, it's the one that I want to be caught up on all of the time. So I think that's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah.
All right. What's another one of your 5 that you love? Okay.
So the second one on my list is one that we have talked about, but I think not recently. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The Deviless's Impression of a Princess.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. This is my plea to the powers that be that it come back from its end of season. So this is on Manta. It's a fantasy romance. There are 20 episodes out. It has been end of season since August 2023.
It's a desperate plea.
It's a desperate plea. I love this one so much. This is about Lilith, and she is a demon queen. She loves romance novels. Me too. And she is wanting to have her own romance life, like live out her own romance journey. Mm-hmm. So she decides to kidnap a princess so that a knight will come and try and rescue the princess, and she can kind of live out her dreams. And when she kidnaps the princess, Princess Freya falls in love with Lilith's right-hand man, Stolas. Like, instantly. Insta-love, very cute. It's love at first sight.
I love them.
They're so cute. And they go to Lilith and they beg, please let us stay together. And they come up with this scheme where Lilith is going to pretend to be the princess, and Princess Freya is going to get to marry Stolas and stay in the demon world. So that's really what happens. This story is so cute. Lilith is one of my all-time favorite female leads. She's just adorable. I love her little fangs. I love that she is trying so hard to be the damsel in distress princess, but at the same time, like, she's lifting boulders up completely.
She is clueless.
She is so cute. And I just want this one to come back. This story was nominated for a Ringo Award last year as well.
For good reason.
For good reason. It's a good story. And I think that's probably the last time we talked about it. So, again, powers that be, please let this one come back.
Amen. I concur. So the next one on my list of 5 that I love is Tempest Night. We have not talked about this one in a while because it had a very precarious opening.
Yes.
And I really was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything else until I figure out what this story is about. It is now end of season on Manta with 37 episodes. Yuna and Jihak are such a good pair, but there is like an underlying tone of mystery as to why all of the happenings are going on in this story. So, general overview, Yuna is the daughter of like a beggar, really, and her sister end up becoming a part of this brothel. And Yuna's sister Yeonhwa kind of takes it upon herself to do the brunt of the work to let Yuna have somewhat of a normal life. So Yuna learns all of these really neat things like how to hunt, and she knows how to read and write and everything else. And this blind nobleman takes note of her reading skills and employs her as his reader. And so where we've left off, the story has kind of gone on a bunch of different areas. But Yuna has been kidnapped, and Jihak is trying to find her. And it is assumed that Jihak has been kind of talking with his sister, and she wants him to come back. You find out that he's the Grand Prince. He's not just some nobleman. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of vacated his duties and is screwing around by living in these lands and taking on a reader and pretending to be blind.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's pretending to be blind, isn't he? I remember that being like a moment.
Yeah, so he's pretending to be blind. And in the meantime, you find out that Yuna's father was one of the people who had lied to His Majesty or was accused of treason and ends up getting murdered by Jihak himself. Mm-hmm. And so Jihak's sister has Yuna kidnapped, and the season leaves off with a very interesting proposition, which is you should start poisoning Jihak slowly.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to read that one.
It is, there's so much happening all of the time, but the mystery as it pieces together is great. I also really love that Jihak is a pretty morally gray character. He's really pretty awful in the beginning, but I don't know, he just kind of grew on me. Shocking, probably nobody, but this morally gray character definitely grew on me.
You love a morally gray character.
I do, you know, and honestly, not as bad as Damien even, so, like, it's fine. But yeah, it really did kind of just take a hold, so that is one that I've been loving for sure.
Man, well, I'll give you a spoiler that is not on my TBR, but that is one that I do want to read, so maybe I'll add that to a separate...
It's on the TBR. Just a little lower.
It's on a separate list. Below the New Year's New Reads resolutions, below this TBR, then that one.
Yeah, it just has its own little TBR somewhere over there.
We'll get there. Okay, so the next one that I have is called The Moth Prince. This is on Webtoon. It's a fantasy story. There are 177 episodes. I'm not completely caught up with this one, but I am at about 150 right now, so pretty close.
Yeah.
This one is about Arcade, and he is a new kid at a boarding school. So he's just moved. He's having his hocus pocus moment where they're telling the lore of the town, and he's like, yeah, okay. Doesn't believe that there are fairies and magic in the forest. Mm-hmm. So, because he's not a believer, he goes into the forest, and he gets lost, and he eventually finds a cursed prince, and he is the Moth Prince, and his wings are gone. You see that they're just kind of, you know how you can see the veins through the wings? It's just that. There's none of the webbing or anything through it. And so he goes up to this prince, and he tries to interact with him. At first, the prince is not about this. He's like, I don't want to talk to people, but I am going to steal your cell phone. So he steals his cell phone.
So random.
And he wants to take all the pictures. He thinks that the phone is magical, but
he's attracted to the light.
He's attracted to the light. He wants to take pictures with the phone, but so he thinks that's magic, but he's a magical fairy from another world. So there we go. But he has been shunned from his world because he doesn't have magical powers like the rest of his royal family. So that's why he had the curse placed on him and why his wings are messed up and why he can't fly or anything.
Yeah.
So Arcade takes it upon himself, and he's like, I'm going to help you figure out where this curse is coming from, and we're going to get your wings back.
Aww.
And so they just go on a little adventure together and try and figure out what's going on while still going to school. So he brings the Moth Prince to school with him, and they kind of, he has like moss growing on him because he's a moth. And so they put long sleeves on him. They give him a hood. They try and make him look a little more human so that he can blend in. And the more he's there, the more human he starts to look. So he starts to lose some of his moss, and he starts to lose like a thorn crown that he has on his head. And so they're just trying to figure out like what's going on. Is he getting further away from his world? Is he getting closer to figuring out what's going on with his curse? And they're just trying to, figure things out together.
I hope they do.
I know. It's so cute. I love this one. The color palette is super soft, very spring.
Yeah, that sounds great. Honest, and you love moths.
I love moths.
That's probably why you picked it up in the first place.
It is.
How would I know? So the next one on my list is actually an in-print manga, but I read it recently, so I have to talk about it. It is Cherry Magic. If you want the full title of the series, it is Cherry Magic, 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard? That's the little question mark exclamation point at the end.
I didn't realize that was part of the title.
It is part of the title. Funny enough, they have an anime of this now, and that is the title. Like, if you go on, like, a Crunchyroll or whatever to watch the show, that's the full title. It has the whole thing. So, I love this one. I actually read all of the in-print manga that you have, Alex. So, thank you very much for sharing. And now I'm going to need my own. I believe there are about 12 volumes out right now, but I only read the first 7 that I had available. And this story is precious. I love the main characters, Adachi and Kurosawa, so much. They are so cute. It's literally a Grumpy Sunshine office romance, and there's just really nothing better. Adachi is somewhat of a loner at the office. He really just keeps to himself, and he doesn't have like really positive thoughts on much that's going on. But he always kind of looks to Kurosawa and he's like, wow, that guy knows what's going on. He's great. Everyone loves him. He's just like a beam of sunshine. All the girls are attracted to him. And Adachi is approaching his 30th birthday and he's never been kissed, had no romantic relations, nothing. So as the clock strikes midnight, he goes to work the next day and he finds out that he's got magical powers. He can read the minds of the people that he's touching. And at first he thinks that he's like, oh my gosh, this is like a delusion. Like, there's no way I'm actually hearing their thoughts. I'm just hearing something in my brain. I'm going crazy. And then when he bumps into Kurosawa, he's hearing Kurosawa's thoughts and thinks that he's talking about a romantic like crush that he has on somebody in the office. And he's looking around and like trying to figure out what girl he likes. And then they bump into each other again, and Kurosawa is talking about having a crush on Adachi. He's like, how lucky am I to have run into him this morning? But the way that their relationship grows, it is just precious. I love them. Cute. I feel like I was smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
I had to watch the anime. I had to watch the K-drama version, and it is just beautiful in every way.
It's so cute. Yeah, I'm glad that you finally read this one. I think I let you borrow these a couple years ago.
Probably. I'll make sure to give them back as soon as I get Wodakoi, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, I still have to read Wodakoi, so I can't talk.
It's totally fine. Yeah. But yes, you understand. It's a really good one.
Yeah, super cute. Glad you finally read it.
Me too.
So the next one that I have is also a Grumpy Sunshine. This one is called To the Stars and Back. It's on Webtoon. It's a slice of life. There are 208 episodes, so it's a long one, but they're shorter episodes. And this is now a daily pass. So it is one that if you want to read it now, you will have to purchase coins or watch the ads and wait for your daily allotment of ads. But it's super, super cute. This is about Kang Dae and Bo Seon. And Kang Dae is just going about his life. He is just kind of an introvert. He doesn't really have a lot of friends. And he just goes about his day. And then all of a sudden, his new neighbor, comes over with cookies and tries to make friends with him. And that is Bo Seon. And so it's just about them and their relationship growing. So Bo Seon really tries to get into Kang Dae's life and just attaches himself to them. And it's super, super cute. They end up sharing a wall, And then somehow, I don't remember how exactly, but they get a hole in their wall. So then they just start talking through the wall to each other and like passing meals back and forth and all of that. And they're both in university, so they're going to school. There's actually a really funny ongoing joke where there's a student who always changes the signs. So instead of being a school announcement, he just makes it something really funny every time. So every time they go by that sign, it's something different. And it's a slow burn. They don't actually even get into a romantic relationship until the second season. So the first season is all about them getting to know each other. You get to know them as individual characters. You get to see them with their friends. Boseon has had a really rough life. And so he has a couple of friends who are super protective of him. And as soon as he starts hanging out with Kang Dae, they go and try and make sure that Kang Dae is good enough for him and that he is treating him well. And I just love it. It's so cute. It's definitely worth it. It's a slice of life. So not a lot happens. It's just kind of about their growth as individuals and together. You see them with their friends. You see them go from being neighbors to moving in together, and it's adorable.
That sounds really cute. I love that. I don't have as cute of a next story. But there are definitely moments. The next story on my list is Antidote. This is one on Leezen with 25 episodes so far. This one is very interesting because it's a memory loss story, so you're piecing a lot of things together with the main character. The main character is Silyan. He is a lord from the kingdom of Kalak who actually was stripped of his title and all of his riches. He now works as a slave of the new lord of Kalak. His name's Lister, and he's awful. We hate Lister. But Silyan is suffering from something called madness. He doesn't remember how this happened. He just was told that he started losing his memories and he was going crazy. And it was around the same time that he was stripped of all of his duties and nobility. So he's just kind of going based off of the word of everybody else around him. But one day he does meet Sir Gjord, who is a knight and a former knight of Kalak, who is undyingly faithful to Silyan. He refuses to acknowledge Lister as the ruler. He loves Silyan and says, we had a relationship together. I know you don't remember me, but like, I'll continue to jog your memory until you do. And so they form this friendship, and they're starting to have a budding romance as well, where some of the memories are starting to trickle back in. And Silyan is still trying to figure out how he lost his memories, what all of this, like how all of this came to be, because he just knows what everyone else is telling him. And so you're trying to piece together what the truth is, what the truth isn't. And also it's a really cute love story in the making as well. I love it.
That sounds great. Love a good mystery.
I know. And honestly, the characters, the art is really unique too. Mm-hmm. The palette is very interesting. So I highly recommend it. It's such a good story.
I know you've told me to read this one before, so I'll have to put it right at the top of the list.
Same one with Tempest Night over there.
The third list, not the first or second list.
Damn it.
Okay, so the last one I have is another plea to please bring back one of our favorite series. And this is Falling for Danger.
Oh, I was about to say it with you and I was going to say the wrong thing.
Oh, were you going to say the Fallen Duke?
And the Knight Who Hated Him.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I figured we've pleaded for that one a lot. I want to give a chance to plead for something else.
I think that's fair.
So Falling for Danger is a Manta series. It's an action romance. There are 21 episodes. Season 1 is complete, and this was completed on October 2023, so another one that has been on hiatus for a long time. And this one is about Maureen, who is an office worker, and she works with Hale, who is an office worker, but also a hitman.
Yeah, I was going to say office worker in quotation marks.
And really, it's just about Hale kind of going off and doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And Maureen is trying to hold together the office and is like, please, Hale, can you come back and do your work? And he just says no. And then she catches him killing someone in an alleyway. And he knows that she knows that he has killed someone now. So then he kidnaps her. And they are forced to work together because she doesn't want to be harmed by him and he doesn't want her to tell anyone that he has killed someone. So they're just kind of going about their lives. In this, they end up going on a office vacation, I guess, where they all go together. Mm-hmm. And it is the funniest trip. And the reason they go on that is because Hale needed to go and do a hit, and he needed Maureen to go too, and Maureen then said, okay, we're all gonna go as an office. It's great.
It's a nice little cover.
I love it. This one has such a unique art style too. I love this series and I really want it to come back.
I love Hale.
I love Hale.
He is a gorgeous man.
Our silver-haired male leads.
I know. Oh my gosh. There's an opening panel and his eyes glow and it just haunts me in the best way.
Yes.
All right. So the last one on the 5 stories I love list for me is Dawn of the Dragon. I tried to stick to stories that I've been reading more recently. This is one that I picked up more recently. It's on Leeson with 75 episodes, recently completed. I'm not done with it yet, but I love this story. Mm-hmm. It is a fated mate story, which I know you love.
I do.
But it's also an enemies to lovers. So we'll get into it. The story revolves around Taehyuk. He is the son of a really rich family and corporation called the Yunshin Corporation. And the way that this world works is that the people who are the most prosperous are the mates of dragons. These imperial dragons bestow all these gifts and riches and luck to the families when they find their mate. And so it's a mutually beneficial relationship because the dragons get their fated mate and then the humans all kind of reap the benefits from there. Taehyuk, however, his family's dragon has been asleep for thousands of years. And you find out that the dragon has just awoken. So the dragon, Hyeon, is looking for his mate again. And the family is like, oh, he's going to be pissed when he realizes that his mate died. So we just have to pretend that somebody is his mate. And they volunteer Taehyuk's younger sister, who's just turned 20, has like her whole life ahead of her. Mm-hmm. And Taehyuk has always felt this draw to the portrait of the dragon that they have in their home. And he's like, I'll do it. And kind of raises his hand reluctantly. He's like, I'll just tell him that I think I'm the mate. And then when we don't vibe, I'll just be like, oh, it's fine because, you know, we just didn't get along in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. And then he'll be fine with it. And the family's like, no, like, you have to be his mate because we'll lose all of our fortune if you don't. Like, you being his mate, like, depends on this. You have to convince him that you're his mate. So he goes to Hyeon and he's like, hey, let's live together and get familiar with one another. And Hyeon's just like, fuck off. I found out that my mate is dead and there's no way it's you. And so Taehyuk's like, well, what do you have to lose in figuring out if it is me? Because I'm pretty sure it's me. And it's just about the slowly budding relationship between the two of them. You also get the flashbacks. It is such a good story. I love them. And I don't want to give too many spoilers because I think you'll love this one too.
Oh my gosh, that sounds great. I love a dragon horde too. That's such a fun trope.
I mean, I love dragons. It's pretty cool. All right, so next on our countdown is going to be the 4 that are on our TBR list. This was very difficult for us to narrow down, but Alex, go ahead and start us.
Okay, so the first one I put on here because I just recently purchased the whole series when Webtoon had their end of year sale. So this is Eternal Nocturnal. This is on Webtoon. It's a romance. There are 101 episodes. It's completed. And this is about Eve, and she is visited by an apparition at night that cures her insomnia. And then Day, who is a dream eater, who is drawn to her. I don't really know anything else about it, so I didn't even read the description until we were getting ready to record today.
What drew you to it? Was it just that I had said I read a few episodes?
Yeah. I was like, I'll buy this.
The episodes I read, I love.
Yeah.
I think you'll love it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great. Once I read the description, I was like, oh, wow, I'm glad I bought this.
You fell for it all over again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, the first one that I highlighted from my TBR is The Hidden Muse. It's a newer one on Manta with 22 episodes, but it's about a woman named Riv Royds who is a tutor, but she also does nude modeling on the side for art projects. And she does it for extra money because her sister's really sick. So she's trying to just make up the difference and be able to afford everything that she needs for her sister's health. Usually all of her nude modeling involves a lot of discretion. So people don't usually capture her face or anything like that. Unfortunately, there is one art project that does capture her face in a profile, and it ends up getting the attention of a man named Dimas Dietrion. And it's kind of about how he tries to get her after recognizing her from her nude modeling. So, sounds great to me.
That one is also on my list.
So fun.
So the reason I put that one on my list is because I was a fine arts major in college. I did a lot of figure sculpting classes, a lot of drawing classes where we used nude models. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just really interested to see like a story about a nude model.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they'll portray it.
Yeah.
All right, so what's another one on your list?
Okay, so another one on my list is Dreaming Freedom. So sticking with the sleep theme.
Okay.
This is on Webtoon. It's a romance, 151 episodes. This is a daily pass, and I'm thinking I will probably buy this one as well. What drew me to this one was the cover. Very similar to how I loved the script so much, and I was instantly drawn to the white-haired, glowing-eyed male lead. This cover has a white-haired, glowing-eyed male lead. So
you just can't go wrong.
I just know I'm going to love it. But this is about Jeongmin, who is a loner. She has been bullied in school by Joohyun, who used to be her friend when they were younger. And Joohyun said that she could only be friends with her. And then when Jeongmin said, no, I don't want to just be friends with you, I want to have more friends, then Joohyun kind of turned against her and made everyone else in the class turn against her too. So then she starts lucid dreaming, and this is her only escape from her daily life at school being bullied. And I'm assuming this is where she meets her male lead, the beautiful, silver-haired, glowing-eyed man. But I don't really know anything else. It just looks gorgeous.
And is there any other reason you need?
Nope.
There's not. So the next one on my list for the TBR is Silent Screams. This is a thriller on Webtoon with 70 episodes. This has been on my list for an extremely long time. When I say extremely long time, I saved this when I started reading Devil Number 4, which is one of the very first webcomics I ever read. This is about Theo, and he is trapped and trying to escape. You would think that he's trying to escape like some horror thing, that he's been kidnapped, whatever else. He's actually trapped in his own house by his stepfather.
Ooh.
And so it's kind of just, how do you get out of this situation? And where do you go when you're trying to leave your home? Mm-hmm. So I'm really curious about this one. It's been on there forever. I honestly just forgot. So I do really want to read this one.
I don't even think that one's on our spreadsheet That was not on my radar at all, but I'm definitely going to add that to my list as well because that sounds really good.
Yeah, I've been bad about the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to add it.
Looking at you, haven't added your completed series to the completed series list yet.
Haven't added anything really.
Okay, so the last one that I have is Mission Save the Hunter. I picked this one because it is a video game theme, and I love video game theme stories. So this is on Manta. It's an ongoing series, and this is about Chaeyoon, who used to be a famous hero, and now he is an unknown hunter in this video game. And he goes around to other people and fulfills their dying wishes. And he finds Jihan, who is another very skilled hunter. And Jihan is also trying to get his dying wish filled by Chaeyoon. And Chaeyoon is drawn to him and is not really sure why he's drawn to him. So he's trying to figure it out. They're just trying to see if they can find a happy ending or if they really just need to kind of end it all. So that's all I know about it so far. I'm really just picking this one up because it's a video game theme and I feel like I'll love it.
You probably will. You do like a lot of the action-based ones too, and it seems like this will be one of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see this one on Manta, so I'm curious if you'll like it. All right, so the last ones for me in the TBR list. First is Death Becomes You. This is one on Webtoon with 97 episodes. It is a fantasy series about a very spoiled princess named Gwen who would love to just continue living her very lavish lifestyle, but there is a self-proclaimed god that has taken over. And she then has to join forces with his half-god, half-human son to defeat him and keep him from taking over everything. I chose this one mostly because it seemed like a different version of When Jossie Whistles. Mm-hmm. And I'm really curious about it. The art is beautiful. If you look at the cover image, it's gorgeous, and you'll probably also want to read it.
I mean, we know what we like, and when we find a story that looks like another story we already love, why not read it?
The main character sounds different than Hella, but I am really curious how this one will go.
But honestly, I mean, you could give me the same story written slightly differently with different characters, and I will read it 100 times.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last one in my TBR is Here You Are. This is on Webtoon with 60 episodes, and it is about Hyunwoo and Jaewon. It's a boy love about two people who are the exact opposites of each other, and it's an enemies to lovers. But I have seen many reviews of this one. It is supposedly a very dual green flag male characters, and I am all about that. So I want to see how adorable and fluffy this one is.
Interesting. I've seen this one on Webtoon, but I haven't seen anyone talking about it. So
a lot of times I see it in like reels.
Okay.
Where people are comparing really toxic male leads to really
ones.
Golden male leads.
Yes.
And several times this one has appeared on the Golden male leads one. So I'm very curious to see what puts them up on that pedestal.
I love it.
Yeah. So the next category we're going to review are the 3 stories that we're always going to recommend to anyone. So the caveat being, obviously, there are some stories that we know why we like it. But if people don't know you, like right off the bat, what would you recommend to people who don't know webcomics, don't know you, like from Adam? What would be the stories you recommend?
Okay. My 3 are ones that we have talked about recently, but I'll start off with the script. I'm getting back on my soapbox, and I'm saying everyone should read the script because it is so good. It's on Manta, it's a romance, it's 81 episodes. We just talked about this in our New Year, well, I just talked about this in my New Year's resolutions, but the reason that I would recommend this story is because the characters are really compelling. You love all of the main characters. You feel their pain, and you have to figure out the mystery along with them. So I just thought this one was super, super unique, and I absolutely would read this again and would recommend it to anyone.
I love that. And it is on my New Year's resolution reads, so
you have to.
I will. I have to. I have no choice. So the first one for me that I will always recommend is Killer Crush. This story's on Leeson with 77 episodes. I know I've talked about it several times. You have Taemin, who is a hitman who falls in love with Dahyuk, who is a actor who is trying to portray a more stern character and is using Taemin as one of his, I guess, role models in learning how to do this. But it's a boy love comedy. The reason I recommend it is because, one, I think if you're going to ever get into boy loves, it is a really good segue. So it's not like super dirty and smutty. It's not like anything super crazy. The romance isn't even really heavy. Like, you do feel the characters grow closer together, but it's a really heavy comedy and action aspect. And it's just a really well-rounded story that I think has something for everybody. So I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the next one that I have, I think would be on both of our list if we're just thinking about our top ones. It's Bloody Sweet. I love this story so much. You can actually find it on Leeson.
And for Gems on Manta.
Oh, is it back for Gems on Manta? Mm-hmm. All right. Then you could get it on Leeson. You could get it on Manta. You could buy the physical copies.
Highly recommend.
I recommend doing one or more of those options. This is just an absolutely gorgeous story. It just shows so much character growth. The male lead is the greenest of green flags.
Fetishu forever has our hearts.
I love Fetishu so much. And this is another one where you just feel the pain along with the main characters. Naerim has had such a hard time in school with her mother being a mudang and just everyone kind of bullying her, and she really forms a quick bond with Fetishu, and it's just about their growth. You see them overcoming so many different trials, both personally and externally. I love this story. I would recommend it to anyone. It's super, super cute. It's like heartbreaking, but also very, very sweet, and I just love it so much.
Yeah, it's a really ray of emotions that you're going to feel when you read it. But it's perfect. I would change nothing about this story.
Yep.
So the next one I'm talking about, I don't think I've actually mentioned on this podcast. This is called Hooky. It is on Webtoon with 224 episodes. I know it sounds daunting, but this does also have a print version. That is actually how I got introduced to it. The story is a fantasy story that revolves around twins Danny and Dorian. They are witches, and they are supposed to be off to witch school. However, they miss the bus. No one knows where the bus goes because the bus is a magic bus that takes them to a discrete location to get their education. And they don't want to let their parents know that they missed the bus. So they just go on an adventure to find somebody to teach them how to be good witches. So it is just the longest time to play hooky ever. It is the cutest story. It's an all ages story. So I literally found this in the children's section of the bookstore, and I read this with my son. It is such a cute story. It's so good. I highly recommend. It has me laughing every single chapter. So I can't recommend it more. It's so cute.
I love it.
Also, same artist as Marionetta. So that is a more all ages version. If you really like the art style and you want to be able to have this on the bookshelf, it's just great. I think you can enjoy it at any age.
That's great. So the last one that I have is Vampire Beru and Ghost Aki. And I mean, I don't even really know what I need to say about this one. It's not on Manta anymore. If I could find it anywhere, I would buy it in a heartbeat. It is just such a good story. Again, you see so much character growth. The two main characters are so sweet. It's got heartbreak. It's got them overcoming themselves and overcoming things like physical obstacles in their way. The color palette of this series is just so beautiful and warm. And I mean, what else do I need to say? It's perfect.
It's perfect, and you have wonderful taste. That's all you have to say. Yeah, honestly, my biggest concern about this one is that I have not been able to find it anywhere.
I know.
But I am so glad that we read it.
Me too.
And I just hope that's going to be me pleading to the gods. Please bring me this webcomic in some form.
Bring it back. I would love for it to be a physical book that I could own, just to have displayed.
Me too. I don't even need it in English.
Yeah.
Just give me the book.
Any language.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I'll learn how to speak the language. It's fine. So last for me should come to no surprise. The last one that I always recommend is All Colors of Snow. It is the perfect historical romance in my mind. It's a webtoon currently with 202 episodes, but this is going to be coming back as an originals. So I don't know if the canvas is going to be eventually taken down. So catch up now if you have not already. But this is the story about Eugenie and Mikhail, and their love story is so wonderful because the two characters are so imperfect. And so it's two really human feeling characters growing together and through a lot of different trials that feel very real. Mm-hmm. The entire romance, I love. The art is stunning. And I'm gripped every single episode. So I always highly recommend this to everybody, especially if you're already a romance reader, because it just sweeps you off your feet. So highly recommend.
Great choice. The art in this one is probably it's one of the top out of anything we've read. It is absolutely gorgeous.
There
stunning.
Are panels that live rent-free in my head.
I know. I was just thinking... we're eventually going to do a single panel persuasion where we try and get each other to read series based on one panel. And you actually did that with this series for me, where you showed the one panel with him saying, or with Eugenie saying he looked like the devil himself. And it is a gorgeous panel. I can't ever get it out of my head. So I highly recommend this to anybody and everybody. It is one of my top favorite series ever. And yeah, I will always recommend this. So the next category, we did do a little bit of a switch on this one because 2 5-star series felt very similar to the 5 that we love. So this one is actually 2 series that we would never read again. So we're swinging in the opposite direction.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to start off with one that we haven't talked about in a while. The Shape of Sympathy.
You know what? It's a good choice.
It's just, we have talked about our qualms with this story before, but this is about Yuri and Sianwoo, who are both in love with different people and end up falling in love with each other. But
if you can call it that.
I was just going to say it's a very toxic love. And here's the thing. I gave this one so much room. Because I was like, okay, Yuri is a bad character. He's not a good person, especially to Sianwoo. And I really, really was rooting for him to have some character growth. Mm-hmm. And instead of that, he had some character ungrowth. He regressed. I was with it until the separation. Once they separated, Sianwoo says, we need to take some time apart, and he leaves. Mm-hmm. And Yuri hunts him down and finds him again, and Sianwoo just is like, okay, I guess that's fine. And then Yuri is just absolutely awful from that point on. And yeah. I had so much hope. It was one of those stories where I just felt like it was going to be not a happy story, but a good story. Mm-hmm. But it just was not.
It was a bad, unhappy story.
It was a bad, unhappy story. I was so mad at Yuri. I also think that it falls into one of those categories where it is a little bit hard to read at some points because a lot of the characters do look very similar to each other. And so it kind of makes it just a bit confusing until you realize who all of the characters are. But yeah, wouldn't recommend it at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's not on my list, but I also don't recommend. So
it's also not on Manta anymore, so I don't know if you can find this anywhere else, but you can't find it on Manta.
And you can't find it with us. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about here is one that I just did not finish. It's not something I do very often. Like, there are some where I lose interest and I'll pick them back up later on. This is one that I am not finishing and never will. Mm-hmm. This is called Placebo. This story is supposedly very popular and grew to be like a full-length series after being pitched as a short story series. It's on Leeson with 52 episodes. And the premise is that it is two stepbrothers who are going to the same school and they share the same apartment. And the younger brother, I believe, Wooyeon, does not get along with Woojin. However, Wooyeon is really just trying to like create his own space. And as they're in college, he's like, I can't remember anything. Like, my mind is entirely foggy. You find out that Woojin has some sort of this mind control trick that he can play on him that says, like, let's play, and the play is finished. And when he says let's play, Wooyeon is like completely bending to his whim and can't remember any of it. And then when Woojin says the play is over, like, Wooyeon is completely unbeknownst to him. He has no idea what happened throughout that period of time. Unfortunately, his brother uses this to hook up with him. And this is like not even like a miscreants and mayhem of like, oh, they just won't let you forget it. But it's like a weird, like, it's not really his dad. No, this is like literally his stepbrother.
Like, they grew up together as children.
Yep. And it just didn't sit right with me. It gave me the ick. And I will not finish this story. So I don't care how much somebody pleads with me. It's not happening.
I have never heard you talk about that at all. I've never heard of that one before. It's a weird concept. There's a lot to wrap your head around there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it was by popular enough demand that they made it from a short story series. And they were like, back by popular demand, these are now full-length episodes. And it's going to be like a full congruent story.
Is the art pretty?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I just wondered if, like, that contributes
it's
to
not
people
bad.
Forgiving it. I don't know.
Forgiving all of the sins. Yeah, all in all, it will never be back on my reading list. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
So the other one that I have on my list is, again, one that we have recently talked about. It's Bound. There is... And you know what? I could almost put Bound and Salvation into just like one row of both of the stories. There's no cathartic ending. It feels like your main character that you are rooting for just ends up like oblivious to what's going on in Salvation, well, and in Bound. And there's just... I don't know. It's pitched as a love story, both of them. I know I'm cheating a little bit by saying Bound and Salvation, but it's the same creator, so that's why I'm counting it as one. And they're pitched as love stories. And
that's the upset.
It's not a love story.
So I have a question. If something was pitched as, I don't know, like let's say a thriller, and then it turned out to be a fluff piece... Would that be disappointing?
No, I would love it.
You shut your face.
Okay, but here's the thing. This was never a love story. There's never a moment when it's not abusive or manipulative.
I feel you. I just had to get my little dig in there.
There was a moment where a story was a thriller and then turned into a fluff piece. These were pretending to be romances, but never were a romance.
Yeah. I got you.
You can't convince me that these are romantic stories.
I won't. I'm not going to put that much effort into it. I did not like Bound at all.
And you didn't read Salvation because I told you not to.
Yeah, and I listen. So that's just how it goes. So the last one on my list for never reading again is going to be a bit of a controversial one, maybe. This is called Jinx. Not Love Jinx. Jinx. This is a story about Ju Jae-kyung, who is a professional boxer, and he has a relationship with his personal physical therapist, Kim Dan. This story is on Leeson with 59 episodes right now, and it hurts me to say it because the creator made BJ Alex, which is a story that I do really love. Mm-hmm. But this boy love I just can't get behind. It is extremely toxic. Ju Jae-kyung is a terrible piece of shit character, and he is irredeemable in my eyes. Like, there's nothing at this point that he can do to fix what he's done to this poor, sweet, adorable doctor. Mm-hmm. Like, I grimace while I'm reading this story, and I just look at him and I'm like, I could hurt you. Like, I want to, and I could maybe.
But you're going to keep reading this.
I'm going to keep reading it. I have to know. And, like, again, will I ever read it again? No. Mm-hmm. I want to read it the one time, never have to revisit it. I just want to know if there's a catharsis, and it's a little too soon to tell because it's only season 2.
If there is, would you change your mind and maybe not recommend it to anyone, but recommend it to me?
I'd probably tell you about it. I probably still wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, like, the terrible things that happen. I mean, like, this poor doctor is getting physically and sexually abused throughout, like, all of season 1.
Yeah.
And then in season 2, he becomes a drunk and he's like, I need to find him again. And you can just tell that the doctor's going to forgive him.
Which one becomes a drunk? The boxer becomes a drunk?
The boxer becomes a drunk. And he's like, I need to find the doctor.
Oh, because he left?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had enough of the abuse and he left?
No, not even that.
Oh. Why did he leave?
He just left because he did something. Like, apparently the opposing, like, boxing team had switched out some of the, like, spray that he uses to, like, help with, like, one of Ju Jae-kyung's ankle injuries. Mm-hmm. And it turns, like, they switched it out with, like, a burn spray, and it ends up giving him, like, a first-degree burn.
Oh, so he leaves because he thinks it's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I know I've seen this on Reels before. Mm-hmm. Is the consensus that people agree with you, or are they trying to pitch this as a romance? Like, do the people think it's a romance?
It's listed as a boy love.
Well, yeah, but is it listed as a romance? There's a difference.
You know? And I'll have to look back.
What do the people think? Are they saying that
I think most other people are hate reading it along with me.
Yeah, that's really what I was getting at. Are they hate reading it, or do they love him?
And here's the thing. The art quality is pretty good. Yeah. Like, it's a well-done story. It's just not a well-written story. Yeah. Or at least, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, I will be finishing this one, and then I will never read it again.
Well, I can't wait till the end, and you can tell me if there's a cathartic ending or not.
I know. If there is, you're going to be like, I'm rubbing this in your face for the rest of your life. All right. So, last but very much not least, Alex and I are going to briefly talk about one of the series that we're currently reading that has us super excited.
So, my series is Castle Swimmer. This was on my New Year's resolutions list.
Good for you starting out the new year.
Yeah, I found this at our bookstore, our local bookstore, and had to pick it up, the physical copy, because it was on my list. I figured, why not? And it is super, super cute. I put this on my New Year's list and purchased it without ever reading the description.
Just because of, like, what, popularity?
Popularity. See, this is one where I have seen it everywhere. I said that in my New Year's resolution, that I have seen it referenced It's all over. It's always on the top list. I've seen it referenced in other webcomics where people will write that story into their story.
That's impressive.
So I thought, I mean, I just had to see what all the hype was about. I'm not very far into it, but I love it so far. The main character is absolutely adorable. And I did go back and read the description. So I do actually know what the story is about now. And it's mer people.
So it's right up your alley.
It's right up my alley. And so we have our main character, and he is a guiding light. So he is golden. He's got this beautiful shining tail, and he just looks special compared to all of the rest of the mer people.
I bet he is special.
I think he is.
Aw.
He is a beacon, so he is supposed to bring a prosperous future for them. The other main character of the story is destined to kill the beacon, to bring prosperity to his people. So I have no idea what's going to happen, but I am very excited now. And I will probably be continuing to buy all of the physical copies as they come out, because
you can't just own one.
You can't own one. You have to own the set. And if there are multiple versions of the set, you might have to own multiple versions of the set.
This is a rule made by you, but I back it. Never heard it said anywhere else, but didn't need to be.
You heard it here first, folks.
So it does sound really good. I have seen this one, and it's usually really high up on the ratings for Webtoon as well. So I think you'll like this, but definitely excited to hear more about it, especially as you get a little bit further in. The one that I am currently reading is called There's a Mouse in My House. This story is on Manta. It currently has 32 episodes, and it is also on my reading resolutions list. So I figured, why not start out the new year right and try to get ahead? Because I feel like halfway through the year, I'm going to forget what was on my list. And then who knows? Like, I'm just never going to read the list, and then I'm going to have a scramble at the end of the year. So I'm going to try to pace myself. This one is a romance drama, and it starts out with Hyunsu. She is a girl who's pretty much a loner, lives in her apartment, doesn't really, like, leave or do much, but she ran out of a few essential groceries, and they are getting a huge snowstorm where she lives. She's like, oh, shit, and she goes out in her little sandals, and she's like, this was not practical. But she just wants to run to the convenience store, grab like a few groceries, and come back home. So as Hyunsu is coming home from the convenience store, she does see a man sitting in the snow. He's been beaten up. He's bruised and bleeding. And he's also in really like weather inappropriate clothes. So he's got like a ripped shirt on, and his toes and everything are exposed. And she's like, I really can't leave him out here like this in the cold. So she goes up to him. She's trying to get a response, and he's not really saying anything back to her. And she's like, okay, I'm going to call the police. And he goes, please don't. They'll arrest me too. Like, don't do that. And so against her better judgment, she goes, you're going to have to come home with me. Like, I can't in good conscience leave you out here. So she brings him home, lets him take like a warm bath. And by a warm bath, she means like a cold bath, but it's warm to him because he's so freezing. And gives him some clothes and food. And the boy, Ji-yo, who turns out to be like a 23-year-old, and she's like 28, he starts like coming on to her, thinking that she's expecting some sort of a sexual exchange in return for all of these like really nice favors. And she really sets up the boundaries and goes like, that's not what this is. Like, I just want to help you in like the goodness of my heart. Sets him up with a futon and whatever else. It is a really tragic story. You learn about Ji-yo's really tragic past, having been abused by his mom, and his mom basically selling him into prostitution. And Hyunsu really just kind of clinging on to Ji-yo because she's lonely as well. She's always at home, and she seems to be pretty depressed. And so it's just about two lonely people finding each other at an interesting time. Where we left off at episode 32 is a really sad moment where Hyunsu kind of breaks Ji-yo's trust. And it's just so gripping from episode 1 through what I've read so far. The characters are so well developed. And I just, like, my heart bleeds for Geo specifically and everything that he's been through. I love this story. Like, I truly think that this could become one of my favorite stories ever. So I'm obviously going to continue reading it. That's part of my job here for the reading resolutions. But I'm so happy I started it because now I get to read it as it releases. And it is so good.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that sounds like a great story. And look at us both starting off strong with our resolution reads.
It only goes down from here. I know myself. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us on this comic countdown. I know that we've discussed a lot of different stories. They will be in the description if you are wanting to read any of these that are either recommended or even if you're wanting to read ones that are not recommended. But thank you all so much for joining us today and looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.